All right, so welcome everybody to the third video now on our real estate investing courses. This one we're going to be talking about wholesale real estate investing, specifically finding deals. So we're going to be doing a whole bunch of different courses on wholesale real estate investing because it's impossible to cover the whole wholesaling in one video. So this is just going to be a series. I know for those people out there who have questions, feel free to reach out to me. Um, Feel free to put your questions in the chat box now, and uh, and I'll be gladly to answer your questions. But as we move forward, it's going to get this thing kicked off. So let's first talk about mindset. So mindset is going to be really important when it comes to real estate investing. You need to have a growth mindset and not a fixed mindset. And pretty much growth mindset is thinking I can learn anything I want to. When I'm frustrated, I preserve. I want to challenge myself versus a fixed mindset. I'm either good at it or I'm not. When I'm frustrated, I give up and I don't like to be challenged. You definitely want to make sure you're having a growth mindset because in this business, it's going to be very challenging. I'm gonna let y'all know a little bit something about real estate wholesaling. Real estate wholesaling is uh, no money down strategy or little to no money down strategy. It's real quick and easy way to get started into real estate investing. But understand when I say quick, I did say easy, but it's a quick way to get started, but it might not necessarily be easy. You got to have a lot of patience and you really can't give up. I'm going to tell you guys that when I started off real estate wholesaling, um, I was all over the place. I wasn't focused. I didn't have the right coaches and mentors. I was trying to take advice from people who just started just like me instead of seeking out the top dogs, in the business or people who've been doing it for a while. So I really let ego kind of get in the way. But it took me 6 months to close my first real estate wholesaling deal. But I guarantee you guys, if you put in the work, you can probably close your first deal in 30 days. Actually, I've trained people to close deals in 30 days. So you know, I've made it happen for other people and showed other people exactly what to do. And it's anything you do in life. If somebody's already done it, you can do it. When I first got started, I didn't say it's taking me 6 months to close my first deal. This must not be for me. I knew that there was other people out there consistently closing deals, consistently doing it. So I just knew that at some point in time, that I was gonna figure it out. It was gonna happen for me. That's what you gotta be able to do when things ain't going right. Don't point fingers and saying what other person more talented or gifted because they're not. Just you need to figure out what you need to do to get the deal done. There's gonna be circumstances. There's gonna be hurdles. Let me tell you, being a real estate wholesaler, I live a life of freedom. Really, I mean, I do real estate full time. I wake up when I want to wake up. I go to bed when I want to wake up. I mean, if I didn't set an alarm clock, I don't have to. I mean, I get up at a decent time because I like to get stuff done, like to work out. But I'm just saying, I have freedom to live life on my own terms. I don't have a boss. I am my own boss, and that's just what it's going to take when you are your own boss. You got to be able to push yourself. You don't have a manager telling you what to do, but I just want to let y'all know mindset, having the right mindset is super important in growing your wholesaling business or your real estate business. I mean, trust me, you can make a lot of money in real estate, but it ain't gonna be come to you easy. Nothing worth that's easy is worth having. If it challenges you, trust me, it's gonna be worth it in the end. And trust me, I've had some big checks that was definitely worth the headache. And even when I'm having those headaches, I'm thinking about, yeah, it's still gonna be a big check at the end of the road. But going on to the next thing, what is real estate wholesaling? What is wholesaling real estate? It's really quite simple process. There's a motivated seller who has a property that they want to sell. There's you, the man in the middle, and you're gonna lock that property up, put it under contract, and you're gonna sell to a guy with cash money, and you're gonna make a fee. In this diagram, we're looking at you in the middle, the wholesaler. You bought this house for $250,000 and you sold it to a cash buyer for $260,000. So you made a $10,000 profit. To me, in my business, we make over 10,000 on a deal. We call that a home run. So that's a home run deal right there. Make $10,000. I mean, you do one of those a month, you make 120K a year. That's an executive's salary if you work in corporate America here in Georgia. I mean, maybe in some other places, that's not a whole lot of money like California, but still a lot of money. I mean, okay, do two of those a month. Okay, that's $240,000 a year, and it's very, very possible. Very, very possible. Me and my partners, we've been closing 3 to 4 deals a month for the last year and a half, 2 years, wholesaling, and it's there's some deals that we made less than 10,000, and some deals we made a whole lot more, a whole lot more. So I mean, it's very, very possible, you know, to make some good money wholesaling real estate, and it's just a matter of putting in the work. You mean you got to find a guy who's a motivated seller, somebody who needs your help. This is what I want you to think about real estate wholesaling is we serve a purpose. Our purpose is to help that homeowner sell his house. But understand, we're not realtors. So we're not, you know, I can say we're not selling the finding them a buyer in a sense. Essentially, we are the buyer to them. Or we let them know, hey, we're gonna sign this, we're gonna find a buyer for you and we'll get a marketing fee. But a lot of the times, I mean, I just let the homeowner know I'm buying their property and whether I choose to rehab it myself or flip it to another cash buyer, at the end of the day, there's multiple ways where the seller may never know that I'm not the guy who's going to end up doing the work on it in the end. But at the end of the day, I still make close on it on records because real estate is very transparent. Sometimes I will double close on a house, which we'll talk about that probably in a couple weeks as we get to that segment. But today we're just talking about specifically. I'm going to talk about finding the deals and marketing. But all in all, I was just trying to say we're here to help that homeowner out. He wants to work with us because we provide speed and convenience when it comes to selling his house. He could list his house with an agent and maybe make more money, but we're here to provide speed and convenience. We're telling him, hey, you don't have to pay a 6% real estate commission when you can just sell it to us, and we're going to pay all cash. We're going to pay closing costs. And sometimes I even pay their taxes for them. Well, that's a negotiating strategy where, I mean, I just make sure the numbers work for me, and I may give them a net profit at the end of the day. But that's a little bit more advanced. But understand something: you're here to serve the seller. You're here to build a relationship with them. You're here to solve a problem. Us wholesalers, we're problem solvers. Entrepreneurs are problem solvers. I mean, we get paid a lot of money to provide a product or a skill in the marketplace for people in need. I mean, think about it. The iPhones or that guy, Steve Jobs, provided a solution to a problem. We needed, computers at our fingertips. Communications across the world. And he got paid a lot of money for solving a lot of problems for a lot of people. The more people you help, the more money you make. And that's what entrepreneurship is all about. And in real estate wholesaling, that's what you are, a problem solver. A lot of times I tell people when I introduce myself at meetings, I'm not a real estate investor. I mean, I am a real estate investor, but I introduce myself as a real estate entrepreneur because you're going to learn real quickly if you get into wholesaling is you're going to have to figure out creatively, how to get that homeowner to the closing table, how to bridge the gap between the homeowner and your cash buyer who wants that property. And it's your job. And there's times where I've helped people move. I've driven them back and forth to the attorney's office, to courthouses. I've done a whole lot of things that was probably outside the realm of what you think is in. If I had a job description, it would be. But at the end of the day, you're a problem solver. You're gonna solve a problem. All right, I think I hit that on the head pretty good. Just basic definition of wholesaling. Wholesaling real estate is when a real estate wholesaler puts a distressed home under contract with the intent to assign that contract to another buyer. The wholesaler doesn't plan on fixing up or selling the property. So, I mean, I plan on selling the property, but you don't plan on, rehabbing and selling the property. So you're selling it as is. Um, so we're gonna be going over the next few weeks each part of closing a deal, of closing a wholesale deal, bridging the gap. Today, we're specifically going to talk about finding the deal. Um, the next webinar, we're talking about analyzing the deal, and we'll just keep going all the way around this little circle um, until we get to collecting your fees, getting paid, getting that check to the bank. But let's dive right on in. Finding the deal. So, like I said, why do motivated sellers want to sell to us, real estate investors? Why? I've already said they could list with a realtor and make more money, but these are the reasons why. Maybe they just got divorced. Maybe they lost their job, bankruptcy. You know, they had to cut wages at their job, illness or death in the family, job transfer, maybe growing family and they live out of state. There's so many different reasons. Let me tell you about a few of the things I've come across why people sell their houses to us. One, the big reasons is behind on taxes. You wouldn't believe that people don't pay their taxes. House is vacant, abandoned. It was mom's, dad's house. It's passed down to them. They don't want to live in the house. And the house, I mean, maybe older. A lot of houses that we work with in Southwest Atlanta were built in the 1920s and 40s. These are old houses, that need updating, and updated, you're talking about putting over 70 to $100,000 into them. They don't have the money to do it. So they moved out and moved somewhere else. They moved into a different neighborhood, you know, and they haven't been paying the taxes. So they may have 5, 10, 15,000 in back taxes. And I already told y'all last week, if you were paying attention, if you took notes, that what happens when people don't pay the taxes, it goes to auction. So that's another reason for people to be motivated. Their house is about to go to auction because they haven't paid their taxes in a few years. Or, mom and dad passed away and they didn't pay the taxes, hadn't upkept the house. And, sometimes it can just be, you know, an emotional detachment. Like I'm currently in the process of buying a house from a lady where, I mean, she hasn't been by the house in years, and it's just in her spirit. They just want to get rid of the house because their brother was was supposed to be maintaining the house. He didn't. He was doing some shady stuff in the house, and it just hurts their spirit that she feels that her mom and dad looking down from heaven to see that house in that condition. And they just said we need to sell it and move on. So sometimes it can be the reverse. Emotion they are emotionally attached to the house, and that's a whole nother story where you have to explain to them, well, I understand this is your family house that you grew up in, but you know you don't have the money to pay the taxes. The city is sending you letters every day, so and everything's about timing. I'm gonna let y'all know. In this wholesaling game, it is a numbers game. All the marketing strategies I'm gonna tell you about, it's a numbers game. I mean, you're gonna come across, maybe 10 people before you find somebody who's like, yes, I want to sell my house. But even if they say no, they don't mean no forever. They just mean no for right now. Because a lot of times, eventually life circumstances change and people need money. The time is right. They have to sell. You know, it's tough out here, man. That's why we are wealth builders trying to make a whole lot of money. Investing in forex and starting our own businesses and real estate. But that's what it's all about. So we're gonna find a solution to these problems that these sellers have, and that was just a whole list of them. Now let's jump into the marketing strategies. Marketing for motivated sellers. How do you find deals? I'm gonna tell you. So these are the different ways to find deals, and there's probably you could probably put 5 or 10 more down, but these are the main ways. There's a lot more creative ways, but these are the main ways to find deals. These are what y'all need to do day one if y'all looking to make some money really, really quickly in this business. Let me explain something to y'all. Wholesaling real estate, you are running a marketing business. You're running a marketing business. So understand, I know I said this is a no money down strategy. What I really mean is a little to no money down strategy because you're going to have to pay some money for marketing and different ways to market. Well, some of these ways you ain't got to pay for marketing. It's maybe a cell phone bill because you just got to pick up the phone and call people. But bandit signs, we'll talk about bandit signs. Driving for dollars, we'll get into that. Cold calling, direct mail, networking with realtors, banks, other investors, attorneys. So let's talk about the first marketing strategy, which is bandit signs. So bandit signs is a very inexpensive way to get started in real estate investing. As you can see to the right, these are bandit signs. If you ever seen the "We Buy Houses" signs on the side of the street, on the light poles, those are bandit signs. So you ask, why are they called bandit signs? Yep, they're illegal. Bandit signs technically are illegal, but it's not, illegal to the point where you go to jail or anything like that. But if you notice, the second bullet point is always use a Google Voice number on them. So here's the deal with bandit signs. Yes, for a blank bandit sign, you're gonna pay about $1, or if you buy them in bulk, you could probably get them maybe 70 cents. If you buy a whole bunch of them. But for a blank bandit sign, it's gonna cost $1, and you can write in, your "We Buy Houses" and your phone number. If you want the screen printed ones, all nice and pretty, they're probably gonna cost you about $2 a sign. Like I said, you buy them in bulk, you can get them a little bit cheaper. But on these bandit signs, we always want to use a Google Voice number, and that's because they can't track Google Voice numbers. Google is not going to give up your personal information. And I don't want to scare y'all away from using bandit signs because it's not that serious. Even if they can track you and they do call you up, I mean, at worst, you're going to get a citation for, I don't know, $50, $100. But guarantee, if you close one deal, let's say a $5,000 deal, I think the $100 citation you got, that's part of doing business, because you still got $4,900, and you only got a $100 fine. So, like I said, do not let bandit signs discourage you from from doing this marketing strategy. So here's the deal: best times to put out bandit signs are Fridays and the weekends to put them out. Those are the best times: Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And why are that the best time to put them out? Because that's the less likely time that the city of Atlanta or any city, major metropolitan city, are going to pick them up. So there are people who work for the city, and that maybe their job description is to go out and pick up bandit signs, clean up the streets and whatnot. So they're going to throw your bandit signs away. We buy houses. So city officials do not work on the weekends. So Fridays after 5, they're off work. So guess what? You can do all the marketing without having to worry about somebody taking your sign down and throwing it away. Friday evening, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday. Prime hot hours to put out bandit signs. So, but I mean, I'm not saying you can put them out every day of the week, but you just don't have to sweat about them coming down on the weekends and Fridays evening. But bandit signs. Here's the deal about bandit signs. You can't put out one, you can't put out two, you can't put out 10. If you're gonna put out bandit signs, you need to blaster that thing all over the area that you're targeting. You need to put out minimum, I'm gonna say minimum 40 signs. 40 signs at a time. So if you're gonna put bandit signs out one weekend, you need to put out at least 40. And you need to put them out on one corner, an opposite corner. You need to put them in, hey, you can go ahead and put them on houses. These vacant houses that you may come across, this vacant boarded up house, put them in the front yard with your little stand, T stand or whatever, the metal frame stand. By the way, those cost $1 too. So I would just buy a staple gun and just plaster it to a phone pole. Yeah, put them as high as you can. Why you want to put them real high? Make it challenging for those people to get them off. I've seen people with these bandit sign sticks. I've seen someone who made one themselves, but you can get one from Amazon. I think it maybe like $150 or something. But it's a stick that allows you to put the bandit sign higher on the telephone poles, so the regular person can't snatch them off. Yeah, that's a little strategy for you guys. So go out there and put out these bandit signs. I mean, 40, 50 at a time, or even more. I know a lady who's putting out 50 bandit signs a day. And guess what? She's one of the top real estate investors here in Atlanta. So, I mean, if you want to get to that level, trust me, your phone's going to ring. Also, another thing. So when you put your numbers out, you got to make sure you answer the phone. So here's another strategy. If you work a corporate job, 9 to 5, or whatever the case, you can always answer your phone. because I know when you're first starting out, I mean, you still need that job currently until you're able to go full time real estate or full time investor. So until you can do so, I suggest having a call center. Pat Live is a call center, 24/7 call center, who will answer your calls for you, and they will take all the information down from these people who call you signs. So, and the people you're looking for a motivated seller. You will get investors who call your signs from time to time, and that's great. They may be cash buyers. You put them down. Hey, when I get a deal, I'll work with you. Or maybe other wholesalers. Hey, maybe we can work together on some deals. If I get something, I'll send it to you. So, that's a good way to build your cash buyers list as well. That's another segment that we'll talk about in a few weeks. But so get out there and put out those bandit signs. Always answer the phone if you can, or call them back immediately when you check the messages from your answering service. Call these people back because you don't want them to call another person's bandit sign and you miss out on a deal. So speed is everything in this game. The longer you wait, the more chance that somebody else is gonna pick up the phone and they're gonna close on that deal. So just be aware of that. Get an answering service. I would suggest if you're not able to answer the phone at a rapid recall rate. So let's talk about another marketing strategy, which I currently use quite a bit, and it's called driving for dollars. So driving for dollars is a great way to build a lead list, to be quite honest. So driving for dollars, how do you do that? You drive around the neighborhood and you look for distressed properties, overgrown lawns, trash in the yard, chipped paint, broken windows. Right. So if you driving around and seeing all this at a house, grass overgrown or mailbox falling off, that means that house is probably vacant. That means it's in distress, meaning that that person's probably motivated. They're not maintaining the house. They're getting citations for the city of Atlanta for unmaintained grass. So eventually, enough is going to be enough, and they're going to want to sell that house. So you need to write that address down. You write around your neighborhood, any neighborhood, the hot neighborhoods, and you're going to write down these addresses. And this is called drive for dollars. When you're out and about, just take the wrong way home. Take the long way home. Go through the neighborhood. Take the scenic route. And just if you see a house, you stop and you pull out your phone and you screenshot the address. Or I mean, there's different apps out there to use. I always use Google Maps, and it's pretty easy because I can just click on the house. It shows me a picture, and I can write it down or I screenshot it, and I go back later. Um, or maybe if you're out purposely driving for dollars, you take a notepad and you write it down. Or what I currently do is myself and a partner goes out, and I'll be driving, and I'll spot a house, and they'll have it on our computer, and they automatically put it into our database. So when we get back to the office, we can look those addresses up. But let's finish on with driving for dollars. These signs often mean that the owner is done and no longer cares about the property. Search the address, find the owner's current address. If they really have an abandoned house, you may easily take it off their hands for a low price. So what do you do with these drive for dollar leads? So when you're out and about and you're driving for dollars and you see these distressed homes and vacant properties, this is what you're gonna do. Um, you can cold call them, or you can send them a letter or postcard and try to get in contact with them. So that's what we're going to try to do. And we're going to talk about the next marketing strategy, which is cold calling. Yeah. So cold calling is a marketing strategy that I've been using with much success for the last year and a half. And I combine that with drawing for dollars. Drawing for dollars, then I cold call. So those are two marketing strategies that I currently use in my business. I'll be doing some more wholesaling here and going into 2019. I'm about to hire a full-time bandit sign person to put bandit signs out every single day and to actually draw for dollars for me. So and that's just part of scaling the business. We'll be talking about that as well. But when you're first starting out, you can't afford to pay people, so you get out there and do the work yourself. But when you can get to that point, you can afford people. You do that too, because that's how you build a business. I'm gonna train you guys how to become entrepreneurs, investors, not business owners. Difference between or business owners or between investors and business owners and self-employed and employees. Self-employed means that you're on the E and S side of the cash flow quadrant. You want to be on the B and the I, business owners, the investors. Business owners, you own a system, put a system together and let that system pays you. An investor, you just invest your own money. That's where you really want to be. Really, really want to be. All right, I got sidetracked. Cold calling. Cold calling is a very effective and aggressive way to find motivation of sellers or motivated sellers. Why I say very aggressive? Because instead of putting out a banner sign and waiting for them to call you, you're calling them and you're telling them that I'm looking at your house. It's distressed. I looked up the taxes and there's $10,000 in taxes and the house eventually is going to go to auction. So I want to make you a cash offer. And they're going to say yes or no. And that's all I care about. I'm not there to convince them otherwise. Um, but I want to get a yes or no answer out of them. If they say no, I'm not interested, blah, 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 they hang up the phone. I don't care. I'm moving on to the next one. Remember, y'all, this is a numbers game. And the key is to try to get in contact with many people as possible. So, but if it's if they say I'm kind of interested, something like that, I'm diving into, okay, how long has the house been vacant? Can you tell me a little bit more about the property? Why is it vacant? When's the last time anybody lived in it? You know, I'm grilling them with a whole script of questions. We'll be going over that. So specifically, cold calling. So with cold calling, you're gonna need a skip trace tool to do this because you can buy lists. If you don't want to get out and drive for dollars, I get my list from driving for dollars. You can buy lists from a website called List Source or the other websites, but you can List Source is a great website because it allows you to filter your leads that you want. You may be one looking for out of state owners in a certain zip code who have a certain amount of equity in their property, and it'll give you that list. It may give you 200 leads, and then it gives you the list of all the houses in that area. Then you need a skip trace service to get their actual phone number. So a skip trace service that you can use, or a skip trace tool, there's some People Finder is a free website out there that you can use. There's white pages. I think it's like $20 a month. So those two are the inexpensive ways, but I'm not guarantee you. With comes cheap results. So understand this: with People Finder and white pages, they're not always going to be the most accurate and whatnot. So that's why I got the next two on the list called TLO and LexisNexis. Those two are the top of the line. Skip tracing services. Those are debt collectors softwares used to track people down. So when you apply for a credit card or you apply for an apartment company and they're going to run your credit, do a background check on you, they're using TLO and LexisNexis. So you can get access to that. But I'm going to tell you, it's not cheap. But understand, it's okay for it not to be cheap because we're running a business. And in business, there are going to be expenses. So you just have to be prepared for that. You need to make sure that's part of your monthly expenses. For TLO LexisNexis, it's probably going to cost you minimum probably $100 per month to use it. Then they're going to charge you $1 per click. So every time you search somebody, they're going to charge you $1. So if you're searching 200 leads and charge you $1 subscription a month, that's $300 offer up. So you got to be prepared for that. But trust me, if you close one deal for $5,000, great return on your investment. So don't worry about it. Don't be cheap. Get out there and invest in great tools to make your life easier. Also, TLO LexisNexis, they're also not easy to get. They're not easy to get. To get those type of tools, you actually have to have a office or a home office set up with certain things, a filing cabinet, a shredder, and they actually will come out to your house to inspect it. Yep, I did say it's a debt collector software used by top priority companies. So be prepared to meet all of the requirements and answer the questions. Here's a quick tip: do not tell them you're using it to search people to call them to buy their house. That is not a reason to use TLO is that they're going to qualify you for. You have to say something else. I'm using it to prevent fraud or to detect fraud. I do a lot of, transaction in business with clients. I need to verify their identity. Boom, that makes a lot more sense. So that's just a nugget out there for you guys. Because I know a lot of people tried to get TLO and LexisNexis and they got turned down because they didn't use the right verbiage. They didn't pass the interview process. But don't sweat it, guys. Working with me, I'm gonna teach you how to get things done. Also, another quick and easy tool is there's a website called Batch Skip Tracing. So instead of you having to use TLO, you can use this one website. You just send them your leads, and they charge like, I don't know. The more leads you got, is cheaper, like maybe 30 cents a lead versus TLO charging $1 a click. So that's even a cheaper route anyway. So to be quite honest, I'm currently trying to back test that to see how accurate it is. I will keep you guys updated. Ask me questions in the group chat. Hey, how's that back testing going? Is that a good website? And I will let you guys know. But also another good app is called Deal Machine. So this Deal Machine app is when you're out in the field driving for dollars, you can take a picture of a house, and after you take the picture of the house, it will provide you all the information about the house, and it will skip trace the person on the spot. I think Deal Machine is like $50 a month or something like that for the app. So it could be very effective. I haven't downloaded and used it yet. They have a free trial that I'm about to try out here in the next couple of weeks. So that's another thing that I will keep you guys updated on. All right, another marketing strategy. So when you get those lists, you might, instead of, if you don't want to cold call them, because cold calling is can be a lot of work. I mean, you have to skip trace them, which is tedious unless you're using the batch skip tracing, or you have to sit there and call. Maybe when you skip trace a lead, you may get 10 numbers and you have to figure out which one's the right number. So you may call them, leave voicemails, always send text messages, because people respond in this day and age. There are more people are replying to text messages. you know even my grandmom's texting now. So don't worry, everybody's texting back. They're gonna show their granddaughter, hey, somebody sent me this. What do I do? But anyway, we're talking about direct mail now. So direct mail is another way to reach sellers. But understand something: direct mailing will require multiple campaigns, and it requires time because you have to write the letters or order postcards and then send them off. And then you have to wait on them to call you. So the response rate is a little bit lower because, like I said, the ball is in their court. That's why I really like cold calling, because I'm calling them and I'm getting a yes or no right there on the spot, rather than me sending them a postcard or a letter and waiting on them to contact me back when they feel like it. Which I'm not saying direct mail doesn't work, because it absolutely works. There's people who gets tons of deals from direct mail and writing letters. Because, but I'm just telling you, understand, you're gonna have to put a lot of letters out because this is a numbers game, and you're gonna have to be patient. But when they start coming in, they will come in. So you just have to be consistent every single month. If you have a certain number you need to put out, you need to put them out. But imagine like this. So if you're putting out, I don't know, let's throw out there 500 postcards um, a month, 500 times 35 cents. That's $175 a month that you're putting out in direct mail. To be quite honest, you need to put out a lot more than that. 500 not going to get it. It's not going to get it done. Not going to get it done. You need to put a lot more than that. So, like I said, direct mail can be expensive. Let's say if you're putting out letters, handwritten letters, and here's the deal: you put out 500 letters at 50 cents a letter. That's $250 a month if you only did 500. But like I said, you need to put out more than that for sure. But understand something. So why write a letter versus a postcard? Because postcards is cheapest. Postcards are cool and whatnot, but sometimes people get a lot of postcards in the mail. I mean, you get postcards from these different businesses and advertising something, and most of the time you take a glance and you throw it away. That's why you notice on some of these postcards at the bottom, it's very specific. Avoid foreclosure, big bold letters. Bankruptcy, big bold letters. So you're really trying to catch their image, or Here's an idea people use. They took a picture of the house and put it on the postcard. So you're trying to grab into that emotional part of the seller, like, oh man, that's my house that I'm looking at that somebody just mailed to me. So you want to be creative in your postcards. Not just plain old simple postcards that they'll just throw away. But which was getting to my point of why are letters really popular? So if somebody takes the time and writes you a handwritten letter about your house, you're one, you're gonna open it up because somebody wrote you a letter. It's handwritten. If you're gonna do a letter, it has to be handwritten because they're gonna open it up and they're going to read it. Versus the postcard, they may take a glance and throw it away. A handwritten letter that's hand addressed, you know, they're gonna open it up and they're gonna read it, and it may touch home with them, and they may give you a call, or they may call you over the other postcards and typed up letters that they were receiving. So understand something. They're going to put that letter away, and when the time is right, they're going to call you, and you're going to close that deal, and you're going to make some money. So that's direct mail in a nutshell. Um, okay, let's talk about networking. So networking, it's a great way to find deals, and guess what, y'all? With networking, you don't need money to do it. It's probably the cheapest way to get deals, but understand something. You really have to get out there and do it. How do you get deals from networking? Realtors. So realtors get deals all the time. And here's what you need to understand about realtors. Realtors, you need to find investor friendly realtors. I'm just trying to be nice about it. Realtors don't understand what we do. They think of us as I don't know, the opposite of what they do. They think of us as, I don't know, maybe they think of us as, stealing their money or their clients or not. But at the end of the day, um, you need to find investor friendly realtors, find realtors to work with because realtors can provide off market properties. So they may have clients who want to sell their properties off market, and the realtor can give you a call because you say, hey, if you're a closer, you buy houses, and they're gonna give you a call because they may have a good deal for you to buy. So, and I've gotten a lot of calls from different realtors, work with some realtors, investor friendly realtors, but you also have to educate a whole bunch of realtors that this is what I do. I buy properties at 70% on the dollar, off market. It has to be a good deal for me. I do not pay full price or retail price. I am an investor, so I cannot pay full price. You have to let realtors understand that, or you'll get sent a whole bunch of deals that you can't do anything with. But realtors also may have buyers, so definitely want to build a relationship with realtors. Realtors can run comps for you. Is a good way to build realtors. So you need to understand what a house could sell for. They can run a market analysis, and they can be able to tell you. But I'm also going to teach you a few ways to find your own comps in the next webinar, I believe. It's part of analyzing the deal. But realtors are good to work with. Banks, why banks? Because banks have properties that they may have foreclosed on and they own, and they need to get rid of because banks do not like owning properties. Banks like lending money. They do not like owning real estate. Real estate does not make them any money. They don't understand it and they don't want to. All they want to do is lend money. So banks have properties. So you get to know an acquisition manager at the bank. When they get properties going into foreclosure, pre-foreclosure, or they had to take the house back, they want to get rid of it, and you need to be on their list of people to call. So you make friends, and with the banks. Probate attorneys. So probate attorneys is when somebody in a family passes away, the house has to the estate of that person has to go through probate. So if that person owned the house, I mean that house there has to be a decision, and most of the time people have lives and families, and they can't take care of mom and dad's house that they grew up in, and they just can't. If there's a mortgage on it, they can't pay their mortgage and the mom and dad's old mortgage, or pay the taxes. So they have to sell that house, and you can be the person that the probate attorney calls. Hey, this guy's going to sell his house. Here's the lead. Boom. So make build a relationship with probate attorneys. They're going to give you free leads that can turn into deals. Next thing we're talking about, other investors are good to work with because other investors, when I first started out, I should have been working with other investors. I would have closed deals a lot faster because I was getting calls from on my bandit signs, but I didn't know what to do with the deal. I didn't know how to close the deal. I didn't know this process that I'm teaching you guys. So when you get deals or get leads, reach out to other investors and understand something. You're in real estate in most markets. I know in Atlanta markets a small circle, but understand something. Everybody in the room wants to make money with you. When you go to these real estate events, these real estate RIAs, that's a great way to meet other investors and other real estate professionals, real estate association meetings. Everybody in the room wants to make money. So they're willing to help you because they all want to make money. It's all about collaboration. There's no competition in real estate. It's collaboration. Always look to be the person that people want to work with. They're going to send you deals. You're going to send them deals, and they may have buyers for. So other real estate investors are people you want to seek out. You want to put on your buyers list. Put everybody on your buyers list. When you put deals on the contract, you need to find somebody to sell it to. They may have somebody. They may be the buyer. So network. You're only as strong as your network. Your network is your net worth. All right, lenders. Lenders are good to work with. Private lenders, hard money lenders, traditional mortgage lenders. They're good to work with. They may have buyers. I mean, actually, for a few of our deals, the lender they have people who are approved to buy houses. The lender said, "Hey, I have some people that are approved. You know, they're looking for deals," and they'd be like, "Great." You know, or they may have people who are selling deals. So you never know. Network. Bird dog. What are bird dogs? Bird dogs are people who are I can they find deals pretty much. Anybody can be a bird dog. So I've met neighbors and I hand out my business card and I tell them, hey, I'll pay you a $500 to $1,000 referral bonus if you find somebody in this neighborhood who's looking to sell their house. And they call me up and they'll say, hey, somebody wants to sell, and I paid them a referral fee. So Bird Dog almost is what a real estate investor is, except they don't lock up the property. They just, hey, they get paid referral fees and whatnot. Mailmen can be bird dogs. Uber drivers can be bird dogs because they're out in the field. Uber and Lyft drivers, they out in the field riding through neighborhoods all day long. They see a house, they may spot it, save the address, and then they'll shoot it to you, and you close on it. You give them a fee. So bird dogs are just people who can refer you deals. And you always want to tell people, hey, if you ever see vacant houses, you want to market. Everybody should know that you do real estate. Tell, hey, I do real estate, and I'm looking for houses. I buy houses, so I'm looking for distressed houses. So hey, you never know who may hit you up. Hey man, I seen a house over here where I live, and they're gonna pay you, and you can pay them a fee for it. You should pay them a fee. Give back. They helped you make some money. So that networking, powerful way to really get involved in real estate. Really, really got to get out there and network. I wasn't the most social person when I started real estate investing, but I'm a lot more social now because you have to be. You have to adapt and you have to change. I want to be the best. I want to invest in myself. I had to get over that. You know, shyness, and get out there and speak to some people, shake some hands, and make some money. That's what it's all about. So, wrapping it up with the webinar, getting down to the end. So, I have a picture of a house here, and I'm gonna tell you guys how I got this house. I got this house from driving for dollars. Yeah. So here's the deal. I drove for dollars through this neighborhood in Atlanta called Westview. Huge house. This house is actually 1449 South Gordon Street. It was the second deal that we had done, actually. The second deal. So we drove for dollars through this neighborhood. We wrote down this address initially and added it to our database. But within this next week, we skip traced the address using TLO, and we code called up. Only problem was we couldn't find the owner. We actually reached the owner's daughter, and the owner's daughter said, "Hey, my mom does not want to sell this house. She doesn't want to sell." And I was like, "Okay," but here's the thing about it: when you're talking to these people on the phone, unless you speak to the owner, if you speak to the wife, the husband, if their name isn't on the title, it can be grandparents, anybody. If it ain't the owner and they tell you no, you keep calling until you get the owner. Because just so happened we were standing outside in front of this house. I don't know why we chose to stand out in front of this house, but because there's plenty of houses in another neighborhood we could have stood in front of. But we stand out in front of this house, and a lady rides by in a red truck. She backs up and she says, "Hey, y'all boys want to buy this house?" And we're like, "Yeah, we want to buy the house." And she says, "I know the owner." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna call her right now." So this lady calls the homeowner, a nice lady, and she's negotiating to the homeowner on our behalf, telling, "Hey, these guys are serious. They want to buy the house. This is what they can pay for it. Blah blah blah. This, that, and the third." And to make the story short, 30 days later, we end up closing on this house. I think we made 20K on this house. So that was a great deal. Really, really great deal. We sold it to another investor. They actually tore this house down because this was a huge house, 2,200 square feet, upstairs, downstairs, basement. But it was really, really had some foundational issues. But for whatever reason, I thought it probably could have been restored. They did not. They decided to tear it down. They're going to build a brand new house, which is great because I mean they paid 100K. We sold that house for 100,000. They're going to tear it down and build a brand new house probably for about another maybe 200,000, and they're going to sell it for probably 400,000. So that's going to be a good deal for them, you know. But yeah, that was our second deal. So by the way, that same lady who negotiated on our behalf, we paid her I think 1,000 or $1,500. I don't remember, but she's the bird dog. She is a bird dog, and since that day, we didn't close like 4 or 5 more deals with her that she's referred us from neighbors in the neighborhood who she knows because she's been living in that neighborhood for 10, 15 years, and so she knows everybody, and she's been getting people to sell their houses to us because it's vacant, just like this one, and we pay her referral fees every time. So that's a good bird dog. So that was a good deal, and this was a good session on how to find deals, how to market for deals. Marketing is so important in this business. You're either gonna sink or swim. If you don't market, you're not gonna get deals. You're not gonna get paid. So you got to get out there and you got to hit these marketing strategies, and you have to hit them hard. You have to hit them hard. If you're cold calling, you need to be doing minimum. If you're cold calling, oh man. Here, I understand a lot of y'all have 9 to 5 jobs, or you may have corporate jobs or whatever. If you're trying to get away from that, video games, you got to cut them off. Netflix, got to cut it off. TV, you just got to cut it off. If you really want to get out of these situation, and real estate's the way to do it, and you're trying to get into wholesaling, because wholesaling is a lot of work. Deals aren't going to fall into your lap. I mean, there are going to be times where deals fall into your lap, but it's not going to happen, like easy if you're sitting in front of your TV, not being productive. You need to watch this video again, study those marketing strategies. I'm going to go over, you know, analyzing the deal in the next session. There's YouTube videos you need to watch. You need to get on this um, real estate, the Wealth Builders Telegram, and ask me some questions. Um, but you need to hit it hard. Get out there and put out your banner signs. Cold calling on the weekends. You need to be cold calling like it's a part-time job. Put in your 20 hours or whatever, and then you're going to get some deals, and that's the way you work out of your current situation into a life of financial freedom, waking up when you want to do, living life on your own terms, and then you get on to the next step of whatever you want to do, whether you want to wholesale real estate full time, because I know people that's all they do because they don't like getting their hands dirty and fixing and flipping, or you may want to fix and flip, or you want to buy real estate properties, whatever you want to do. I think wholesaling is a great way to do it because you're getting your hands on great, great deals, and you're direct to the seller and you're negotiating. The more money you're gonna make, I tell people, the better you are at negotiating with homeowners and sellers, the more money you're gonna make. And I'm gonna teach you some in negotiating strategies a little bit later on in the deals. Probably the next webinar when we're talking about analyzing the deal, just teach you some negotiating strategies. But all right, I gotta run. If you have any questions, you can email me at calebford.wb@gmail.com. That's KALEBFORD wb@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys in the chats.